Have you ever looked in the mirror and barely recognized the person staring back at you? Those eyes, harder now, aren't they? That smile, a little sharper around the edges. They say you've changed. They whisper that you're not the same person anymore. That you've become something else. Something fiercer. Something they call a monster. And you know what? They're right. You have changed. You've evolved. You've transformed. But here's the truth they're too afraid to face. You didn't become a monster because you wanted to. You became a monster because the world left you no choice. Remember who you used to be? That gentle soul who always put others first. The one who apologized for taking up space. The one who dimmed their light so others wouldn't feel threatened by your shine. The one who said sorry for breathing too loud, for dreaming too big, for daring to exist in your full power. Oh, how they loved that version of you. So compliant. So agreeable. So controllable. But then something changed, didn't it? Maybe it was that promotion they promised but gave to someone else. Maybe it was that friend who shared your secrets like they were passing around candy. Maybe it was that partner who swore they'd love you forever, only to leave when forever got too complicated. Or maybe it was all of them. All those little betrayals, all those broken promises, all those moments when you gave everything and received nothing in return. Each one a tiny crack in your gentle exterior, until finally, something inside you snapped. And that's when the transformation began. You started setting boundaries. They called you selfish. You started speaking your truth. They called you harsh. You started choosing yourself. They called you heartless. You started demanding respect. They called you difficult. You stopped accepting crumbs. They called you greedy. You stopped apologizing for your success. They called you arrogant. Monster, they said. You've become a monster. But let me ask you something. Who made the rules about what makes a monster? Who decided that putting yourself first is a crime? Who wrote the law that says your growth should make others comfortable? They did. The same people who benefited from your silence. The same ones who feasted on your sacrifice. The same ones who built their kingdoms on the foundation of your compliance. So when they demand an apology for who you've become, lean in close and whisper this truth. I don't owe you an apology for outgrowing the cage you built for me. Because that's what this is really about, isn't it? You've outgrown their expectations. You've exceeded their limitations. You've broken free from the narrative they wrote for you, and nothing terrifies them more than a story they can't control. Think about it. What they call monstrous, others call magnificent. Your refusal to settle? That's standards. Your ability to walk away? That's self-respect. Your unwillingness to compromise your worth? That's integrity. Your decision to prioritize your peace? That's wisdom. Your choice to distance yourself from toxicity? That's self-preservation. They say you've become cold. But they don't mention how many times they left you out in the cold. They say you've built walls. But they don't talk about how many times they invaded your boundaries. They say you've changed. But they don't acknowledge how many times they forced you to adapt or die. Here's what they'll never understand. This monster they fear? This creature they condemn? It's not a product of darkness. It's a creation of light, your light, burning so bright it blinds their small minds and scorches their limiting beliefs. You're not a monster because you're evil. You're a monster because you've become too powerful for their comfort, too authentic for their facades, too real for their pretense. Every scale they see as ugly? That's armor you built from their arrows. Every fang they fear? That's strength you forged from their attacks. Every roar they condemn? That's your voice, finally unleashed after years of whispers. So no, you won't apologize for the monster you've become. Because this monster? This creature of power and purpose? This being of strength and sovereignty? This is who you were always meant to be. This monster saved your life. When the world was too cruel, your monster gave you claws to defend yourself. When the pain was too much, your monster gave you scales to protect your heart. When the lies were too loud, your monster gave you a roar to speak your truth. When the betrayals cut too deep, your monster gave you the power to heal yourself. They want an apology? Here's what you can tell them. I'm sorry I'm not sorry anymore. I'm sorry I stopped shrinking to fit your small expectations. I'm sorry I learned to love the parts of me you taught me to hate. I'm sorry I discovered my worth wasn't determined by your acceptance. I'm sorry I realized your opinion of me isn't my responsibility. I'm sorry I became everything you were afraid I might become. Actually, no. You're not sorry for any of that. Because this monster they fear? This monster they condemn? This monster they demand you apologize for? This monster is your masterpiece, your magnum opus, your greatest creation. This monster is you, finally free from the chains of their expectations. This monster is you, finally walking in the fullness of your power. This monster is you, finally claiming the space you deserve in this world. And here's what terrifies them most. You're just getting started. They haven't seen anything yet. Because while they're busy demanding apologies, you're busy evolving, growing, transforming, becoming even more of what they fear, a being fully awakened to their own power. Every criticism they throw, fuel for your fire. Every rejection they offer, another step on your ladder. Every door they close, an invitation to build your own kingdom. You see, what they call monstrous is actually magnificent. Your unwillingness to settle for less than you deserve. Your ability to walk away from situations that no longer serve you. Your power to say no without explanation. Your courage to choose yourself when everyone else chooses against you. Your strength to stand alone rather than compromise your worth. They call you a monster because you've stopped playing by their rules. You've stopped fitting into their boxes. You've stopped dancing to their tune. You've stopped being the convenient character in their story and started being the author of your own. And that's what really scares them. Because a monster who knows their worth, a monster who's tasted freedom, a monster who's discovered their power, that's not just a monster, that's a revolution. You're not just changing yourself, you're changing the game. You're showing others what's possible when you stop apologizing for your power, when you stop dimming your light, when you stop playing small to make others comfortable. Every time you stand in your truth, you give permission for others to do the same. Every time you choose yourself, you show others they can do it too. Every time you roar instead of whisper, you demonstrate the power of an unleashed voice. So let them call you a monster. Let them demand their apologies. Let them clutch their pearls and clutch their narratives and clutch their small, limiting beliefs about who you're allowed to be. Because while they're busy labeling you, you're busy becoming. While they're busy judging you, you're busy evolving. While they're busy fearing you, you're busy flourishing. This monster they fear? This monster they condemn? This monster they demand you apologize for? This monster is just getting started. This monster is rising. This monster is expanding. This monster is claiming their kingdom. And the only thing this monster is sorry about is not becoming this monster sooner. So no, you won't apologize for the monster you've become. Because this monster isn't your shame, it's your salvation. This monster isn't your curse, it's your crown. This monster isn't your weakness, it's your weapon. Wear your scales with pride. Bare your fangs with purpose. Unleash your roar with power. Because the truth is, you didn't become a monster to fit into their world. You became a monster to create your own. And in this world, your world, monsters don't apologize for their power. They wield it. They own it. They celebrate it. So the next time someone demands an apology for the monster you've become, stand tall. Stand proud. Stand powerful. And simply say, I don't apologize for becoming who I needed to be to survive your world. I celebrate it, because this monster, this glorious, powerful, unapologetic monster, this monster is just beginning to show the world what they're capable of. This monster is just starting to understand their true power. This monster is just beginning to realize that what others call monstrous is actually magnificent. And no, you won't apologize for any of it. Not now. Not ever. Because the only thing worse than becoming a monster in their eyes would be remaining a puppet in their hands. So roar, magnificent monster. Roar and shake their world to its foundations. Roar and show them what real power looks like. Because the monster they wanted you to apologize for, that monster just became your superpower. And superpowers don't come with apologies. They come with purpose. They come with power. They come with pride. So stand tall, magnificent monster. Your time is now. Your power is unleashed. Your story is just beginning. And no apology is necessary. Not for your strength. Not for your power. Not for your transformation. Because the monster they fear, that's just you finally free. That's just you finally powerful. That's just you finally alive. And that's nothing to apologize for. That's everything to celebrate. So celebrate your monstrosity. Revel in your transformation. Glory in your power. Because this monster, this magnificent, powerful, unapologetic monster, this monster is just getting started. And the world better be ready. Because ready or not, here you come. Unapologetic. Unstoppable. Unforgettable. The monster they created. The monster they fear. The monster you become. And you wouldn't have it any other way. Roar on, magnificent monster. Roar on. The world is waiting for your story. And this time you're writing it on your terms. No apologies needed. Not now. Not ever. Because monsters don't apologize. They evolve. They conquer. They reign. And your reign is just beginning. So let them talk. Let them fear. Let them tremble. Because this monster, This glorious, powerful, unapologetic monster? This monster is just getting started. And the best part? The best is yet to come. No apologies necessary.